Good evening. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Oh. She hates being picked up. I'm sorry. Thought we would start this vlog off at night. Typically, I am most productive in the mornings. It has been probably weeks since I've touched Cherub of Rosecrest, and I don't even know if I need to be working on the paper manuscript or the digital one. I recently attended an author reading / Q&A. I didn't plan on it. I hadn't even read the book for this particular author. I was just kind of like right place, right time. And I found that I took a lot away out of that talk. She is a flight attendant by day, and she kind of moonlights as a writer by night. Even though she was traditionally published, it took a long time. Her novel went through tons of edits and rewrites and a whole genre switch even. She talked about how the moment where she realized that the book was trying to be two different things at once, and she rewrote it, and now it's a young adult coming of age. One of the questions that she answered was, how do you find the time to write? She doesn't have your traditional sort of 9-to-5 job. She's hopping around different countries. I don't think she goes out of the country, but different states, different cities. She writes during layovers because it isn't like her full-time job. Her only source of income is not just writing. She has to give herself deadlines, and I think she's even worked on a second book. And I feel like that really resonated with me because I have a typical 9-to-5 job. I don't really talk about it, but I do. Even though every day is not 9 to 5, and sometimes I work during the weekends, it just depends, but it's a grown-up job. And I myself have always thought of writing as something I do for fun, something that I don't really want to make a career out of. I've talked about this to death, I'm sure, but it's something I still feel strongly about. And even though it doesn't dictate my income and it doesn't dictate my lifestyle, I still feel bad when I don't get as much done as I want, and I feel bad that it's taken this long to get this far in Cherub, and I feel like sometimes I've done a disservice to myself, not being as creative and not carving out the time that I know I could have. And it's tough sometimes, you know, because you want to be hard on yourself, but then at the same time you're like, you shouldn't be hard on yourself. I've talked about this book once before, but Poor Little Sick Girls by Ione Gamble. That's a really, really good read if you feel like you are really hard on yourself, and it talks about like work culture and stuff like that, but still, feelings are feelings and they come up and you can't stop them. You can just embrace them and move on and do better for yourself. And now that my life is, I wouldn't say I'm 100% settled, but it's definitely coming down from a major uprootment. I am working on a new routine for myself. I am more independent now than I have ever been in my entire life. And right now I'm in the chapter where I need to find out who I am and make myself who I want to be. And I believe that starts with getting this damn book done. Ow. My knees. Ow. And being happy with who I am. So yeah, sorry for the ramble. Let's see the last time I opened Cherub of Rosecrest. Oh, my computer's gonna die. October 7th? No. Actually, yeah. For context, it is now the middle of November. Pause. I only have 15 pages left. I'm on page 80, there's only 96, barely 96. It's like a couple paragraphs on page 96. And as far as correcting the digital version, I only have like an extra 10 off of that. Could I get this done? It is NaNoWriMo after all. It's only 6. What if I were to power through? Can I do that? I mean, the vibes are vibing right now. I have my Christmas tree up. It is looking magnificent. I have a forest of trees and a Bath & Body scented candle. I have a bowl of smoothie, which I know I'm not the only one who likes to eat smoothies with a spoon. I think we could do it. Oh gosh, I'm looking. Okay. It is 9:10 at night, way past my bedtime, but I'm gonna do it. I did not think this was gonna happen tonight. I was on a roll, and like the end of the book just like goes, and it's like there's no, I don't know, there's no room for me to feel like, oh, I can stop now, just because it flows so nice in my opinion. But I have 2 pages left, and actually I'm almost done this page. My ending I think is pretty tight. It's pretty clean. I'm trying to cover all the bases, and I think I did it okay. So there's really not that much to edit as far as like structure or story goes or dialogue. It's mostly just making sure everything is said in the way that it needs to be said. So yeah, I will get back to you in like, I don't know, hopefully like 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Oh my god. My battery's gonna die. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not done. I still have to do all of the transcribing and copying this into my digital version, and then we'll be done with this draft, but that is another problem for another day. I'm going to bed if I can. Good morning. I did not sleep last night. I was too wired. I don't know if it was that smoothie I had or if it was the fact that I had just done so much editing and completed a milestone. I don't know. But we are in the home stretch, and isn't that wonderful? First of all though, I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna make a coffee. Oh no, you're leaking. Alrighty, here we are. Let me figure out how many pages I need to do before I can call myself officially done. The last time I worked on the digital version, I was on page 70, and there is 95, 96. That's like 26 pages. I don't know. Sometimes the transcribing part is more difficult than the actual editing part, because I make notes in here saying find a better word, and if I can think of something then and there, I'll write it down. But sometimes I need to pull up the thesaurus or the dictionary to make sure I'm using the word correctly, and that can be time consuming, and then I get lost in like a rabbit hole of words is sometimes how that ends up. And then other times it's, you know, about deleting passages and going back through the document and looking up stuff, because sometimes I'll make notes like if I state something and I can't remember like if that's true or not, I'll put like look this up, or does it really, or is that what happened, or is that how you spelled this, whatever, blah blah blah. So it's a lot of like looking through and fact checking myself as well as fact checking the facts. Thankfully though, my cemetery is fictional, the people are fictional. Also, if you see this gnarly wound on my finger, the very first time I used my oven and I burned myself. Anyway, so sometimes it takes longer, and then, you know, I need to make sure that I made the edits that I wanted to make. I didn't miss anything. We'll see how far we can get today. I have basically the whole day. There's something I wanted to do later on, and brain power willing, I might be able to knock this out. We'll see. Side note, I find that like the home stretch, like if I know I'm so close, like I can just power through. I don't know what it is. It's just like the last leg of the race, you're like, oh, I can do this. Like, let me do this. Why can't I have this motivation all the time? we're back. I took a short break to get groceries and do a little Christmas shopping. I hung some stuff up and then I got distracted because remember when I made the video creating the cemetery map? At the time I wasn't sure if I was going to include it in the actual book or just have it more of like a reference for me, but looking at some actual maps of cemeteries, I am a little bit inspired. So I think I'm going to rework it and actually include it in the book, because I think that would be not only helpful but also give me the opportunity to do something creative, because I like doing creative things. So that's what I was working on, and oops, it is almost dinner time, but I am going to try and do some more editing. Let's see how much of this I can do before I get hungry. Okay, it's like a week later. Wow, you were really crooked. I am sorry. I finished it. All of my paper edits are now into the digital version. This draft is done. Oh my god, I've been working on it for so long. We are getting there. This draft ended at 38,400 words, which is like more than twice the amount of the first draft. I think my first draft was only what, like 14,000 words. This is feeling more like a novel, like a real, I mean, a short novel, but a novel nonetheless. I have yet to read through it all in like one sitting without editing. So as far as flow goes, I'm hoping everything works out okay. My next steps are gonna be to start formatting and getting a like a proof. I know I have one more like draft, but it's not going to be nearly as intense. It's mostly just going to be for going through and tidying everything up, making sure everything is grammatically correct and that I am following all of my own rules, making sure all my facts are sound and that the world is contained. I also have a list of everything I want to fix before going off to print, which for me is just getting like a proof. But the bulk is done, guys. The hardest and the most time-consuming part is the intensive editing, and now I'm one step closer to publishing. Anyways, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, coming along with me as I finish up this edit. This is on track to be my best novel yet, and I'm very excited. I'm very proud with how far I've come, and especially so with this story. You know, what started off as a short story for an English class in college has turned into this full-blown project, and I never thought in a million years I would write a story like this, but I'm very glad I did. So anyways, I have to get to work, so I'll see you guys in the next video. All the links to my stuff will be down below also. Okay, bye.